somebody who's, quote unquote arrived or whatever. I'm just having fun. This business thing is for lack of a better word, it's a game for me. But it's a game that I like to play because I don't consider this work. I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. When I see a lot of you guys in the hallways and you guys coming up and saying, Vic, thank you. The one idea that I got from you, one idea that I got from people who were on this stage before me made a difference for me. That's important. That's important for us. And so what I want to talk to you guys about is how do you build your business so that you can be up here on stage, and every one of you guys have the same potential. I'm coming from a very, very humble background. My parents. I came to the States when I was 12 years old. Right. My parents were, very hardworking parents. They gave us the best they could from what they had. Right. But I don't remember myself going and traveling going to like any vacations when I was a kid. Our vacations was going to the grandpa's house and grandma's house. But when I got married, I wanted to give my kids what I did not have myself, right? And I got the best parents in the world. So my thing is when I got to this industries, I wanted, I had a dream, I had a desire, and I told you guys that in Chicago, I don't want to repeat myself, but I do want to kind of boil everything down. And I was, like this morning, I woke up and they told me I'm going to be speaking. And I'm like, what's the topic? They're like, whatever you want to talk about, So I guess I can tell you jokes or I can tell you how to build a business, But I think it would be useful to talk about building a business. So friends, here's what everything boils down to this. And I want to leave you with this because it's not going to be theory. It's going to be, I'm going to teach you from experience. I never ever want to teach theory, okay? And something I'm going to recommend you guys as well. Don't teach from theory, teach from experience. Okay? Because when you teach, like if you heard somebody saying something and then you're going to rehash it yourself, but you've never experienced it, it's going to be difficult for you to connect to that person, right? It's going to be difficult for you to get your message across in a way so that it would affect the person that's listening to you. But if you have, if you lived it, if you know, if you actually experienced it, then it's easy for you to transfer that, right? And selling, folks, is a transference of feelings. Okay? Selling is a transference of feelings. So how you feel about what what you're doing, deep down, not on your surface level, but deep down how you feel about it, is what's going to transfer over. So when I got started in this business, it was 8 years ago. Before that I was broke. Okay, I was at the point in my life we did not have $1.19 to my name. But I was just fortunate enough to come across some right people in my, early in my career, and I was smart enough to listen to them. I had a mentor who said, Vic, he told me what I needed to hear. He didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. A lot of times we go to our uplines or we go to our sponsors and, we're asking them questions, and then when they tell us something, we don't like that answer, right? And then we're looking for a different answer, right? My mentor said, Vic, before you start talking about building your business, before you start talking about making money, he said, in 3 to 5 years from now, you will be like the books you read and people you hang out with, period. And you know what I said? I said, I like that, but I don't like the 3 to 5 years part. I want to make it quicker. He said, you can't. He said, you can do that, you can compress time frames. And I said, how do you do that? Because keep in mind, I'm broke, and this guy's earning $200,000 a month. Okay, and I want to be like him. Okay, folks, if I can tell you anything right now, right, and that would be this: your current situation doesn't matter. Some of you guys, how many of you guys had to go through like enormous struggles to get here? Yeah. How many of you guys are currently experiencing turbulence in your business right now? A lot of you. Okay, I was that guy. I was that guy, folks. Right now, I can look any one of you in the eyes. And I can tell you that you can do this, okay? Because I've done it, folks. And why am I so confident when I talk about this stuff? Is because I lived it. And not only that it worked for me, you guys heard Paul Aboroso last night, right? And he said there was a 30-day little deal that he went through that allowed him to have a massive breakthrough. And the guy earned like over $200,000 in like 6 months with Empower Network, right? Again, talking about incomes, results are not typical. You can make zero, you can die, I don't know, you know. But when you do, when you work, right? When you work and you do certain things a certain way, folks, it will work for anybody, regardless of your experience, regardless of how bad you're struggling right now. Okay? I don't buy any excuses. Here is what my mentor said. He said, Vic, you can compress time frames, and you can do that by just taking massive action in the areas that I'm going to tell you. And he said, look, before you're going to start building your business, you have to have a clear idea and a clear picture of what your business is going to look like. Okay? We're going to talk about marketing, guys. I'm going to give you some marketing advice. I'm going to give you a lot of tips when it comes to like building your actual business, the actual how-to, right? Before we can get there, I want to make sure that you guys, everybody in this room, if you guys just get this, I promise you, in the next 6 to 12 months, you can be on stage like Paulo Barroso. Okay? You can be earning $40,000 a month. You can be earning $50,000 a month. You can be earning $100,000 a month. The difference is going to be, yeah, and I don't say this just to say it, guys. I believe it. Okay? So here's the deal. Imagine this, this convention center, right? Before they built it, what needed to happen? Somebody, an architect, they had a clear picture of what this whole thing is going to look like, didn't they? It was very, very clear. They didn't start building it and then say, okay, we're just going to do this, and then what we'll get to tomorrow, we'll figure out what to do next. Right? Imagine what would happen. Imagine building a skyscraper and the guys building it, they're like, well, we're just going to, lay these bricks here or blocks or whatever, put these panels up, and then we'll see. We'll see what this goes. Right? You see, guys, that's how a lot of people build in their business. They start it, and they say, well, I don't really know. I'll just go with the flow and see what's going to happen. They don't know what they're going to do, a month from today, a year from today. They don't know what their business is going to look like. Okay, and see what happens is they're building this skyscraper, and this is for lack of better metaphor, I'll just use this for example because it relates to what we do. Okay, they're building their skyscraper, their business, right? They're looking at Vic's business right here. All right, this is his big skyscraper, whatever, and I'm whatever I was able to achieve up to this point. They look at Tony Rush, Aaron Reshkin, Tracy Walker, and Lawrence Tam, and they're saying, how awesome would it be for me to have that? And you know what most people do? They're jealous. They get jealous, right? But see, the reality is, what's the difference between his business and your business? It's because he built it, doing certain things a certain way. And what most people are doing is they get it up to like the second floor, right? And because they don't lay the foundational stuff right, their whole structure collapses. And they're trying to rebuild it again, right? And people jumping from business to business to business to business, right? Blaming the opportunity, blaming the sponsors, blaming the company, the compensation plan, the products. They're blaming everybody but themselves. But see, the reality is they're going from this business to this business, taking the same person to the next company. It's not the business that's going to make you successful, okay? I cannot make you successful. Nobody here can make you successful. You can make yourself successful. Okay? I want everybody to understand that. So if we think about it, as business owners, we need to be very, very clear. Number one, there's three things I want to talk to you guys about, okay? Number one is and I start all my teachings, all my coaching with this. Foundation, okay? Foundational stuff. What is that? Well, thing number one in the first category is you have to have a clear vision what your perfect business, your perfect life would look like. When was that? Friday? I think Friday Dave talked about the clarity, right? Friday was all about clarity. How many of you, and I'm just curious, okay, just be honest, how many of you guys actually sat down with a pad and pen and wrote out, if you could create your perfect day, if you had the magical powers to create it any way you wanted, how would that look like? I'm talking about like you wake up in the morning, right? What do you do? What time you wake up? Where do you go to eat breakfast? With whom you eating breakfast? What are your activities throughout the day? How do you feel about, when you wake up? How do you feel about your day? How do you feel about your life? How many of you guys actually have that written down? Give yourself a hand.